Episode 71, done and done.
Yeah.
We spoke a lot about Red Dead in this one because the game's super awesome.
Perfect scores.
Yeah, perfect scores. Vish got super into the game.
Yeah.
And ended up focusing a lot more on the game than the podcast. But that's cool because the game's super dope.
The whole idea is immersion.
That's true. So we might drop a first impressions of the game, not a full walkthrough because the game's way too long. But yeah, that'd be cool. Like
right.
What do you call that? First impressions. They call it something else? Just first impressions?
Yeah, preview. I don't know.
Preview. All right, cool. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out what it is. If you hear a lot of like scruffing, that's our dog in the background, always making an appearance. Anyways, so
cool. Merchandise.
Yes, shop.godlightmyfire.com. Pick up some teas on Teespring. Support the podcast via these channels. Vish.
Oh, like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, and our favorite.
Oh, video reply.
Video reply. We need some of those.
Right.
Actually, I was thinking about this one because a lot of people watch this, listen to this more on iTunes than YouTube. They won't see our overlays.
Right.
So, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Irvil James for me on both handles. URVILJAMES. And Vish's is 8th Sage.
I think there are two different ones.
Yeah, their Instagram is 8th Sage. Is it 8th_Sage? It's either 8th_Sage or 8th Sage.
I know one of them is like 8th Sage Gamer though.
That's Twitter, yeah, because I always tag him in that one. So,
right.
Instagram is 8th_Sage, and Twitter is 8th Sage Gamer.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll tighten up this intro for next week.
You just jumped that in there.
Yeah, because I was thinking about, I was
nobody.
I was looking at the stats, and most people listen to this on iTunes versus watching it.
Right.
So it's like you won't even follow us. It's kind of wasting it, you know. But yeah, so
very nice. Here we go.
3, 2, 1, boom! And we're back with another episode of Socratic Gamers. This is episode 71. 71.
Yeah.
And if you're watching on YouTube, you may notice that we have a super sweet game. It just came out, Red Dead Redemption 2. Is there a subtitle to this one?
No.
No, so it's just Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a prequel.
Okay. So,
two.
So this is the regularly scheduled podcast where we talk about 4 things from the week that we thought were cool, and we dissect them in the Socratic way that we do while we play games, which is why we're gamers.
Yeah.
Socratic gamers.
All right, give me 1 second to sneeze. Oh, jeez.
Lord bless you. All right, anyways. So,
I was going to say something.
First topic of the week is actually the game itself, with Vish playing it on its release.
Yeah, I got it digital. So, man, it's so good.
The game?
The world is I just started not that long ago.
I saw the review was like 10 out of 10 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
it was like a perfect game.
Oh, really?
That's what 10 out of 10 is, right?
But yeah, that's true. But I mean, like, perfect game is subjective. Like God of War got 10 out of 10 as well, right?
I think it did, yeah.
Yeah, so that game was really good, though. So what's so great about this game? What do you love? You didn't love the download time, though. That was long.
No, that was fine, actually.
It was like...
it was pretty quick for us. Our internet's kind of fast, so...
Yeah, sure, but how many gigs was it? Like 80?
No, it was 100 gigs.
Oh, 100 gigs. That's a lot. Damn.
Yeah.
All right, anyways.
Yeah. No, that was like the meme going around, too, with Twitter. If you bought the disc version, you want to play it, but you're, like, waiting for it to install. 100
really?
gigs of it, yeah.
Oh, even though you buy the CD, you still have to wait for it to install?
Yeah, you still got to install
that's
it.
kind of lame.
Yeah, of course you have to.
Oh.
It's all games like that, man.
Okay.
So, like, yeah, that was the funny thing, too.
We usually buy digital, so I haven't...
Yeah, because you can preload it. You should have bought digital, and you're ready to play it on that day.
Right, true. Okay.
So they start you off, like, in a... Like, you're running away from the city called Blackwater. So
Okay.
you who are playing as Arthur doesn't know what's going on.
So Arthur's not the first guy, the guy from the first game?
No.
Okay, cool.
But the guy from the first game is in this game.
Okay.
John Marston. You do, like, in one of the early missions, you're you have to go and find this guy, and nobody really cares about this guy.
Okay.
Nobody likes John Marston because he's like a drunk. He's like a weirdo, like
Oh,
the
weird.
way it seemed.
Really?
And like,
Because in the first game, it was like you were like awesome. You know?
yeah, because I guess something like we know what happens to that character, right?
No, I do not.
Oh, you don't remember?
No.
Oh, like he loses his wife and kid,
Oh, okay.
and he's going after this gang.
All I remember from the first game is I caught horses and I could hunt and skin them.
Well, yeah, the main guy was trying to find all the killers from this gang, trying to kill them all because of what happened to his
Oh, that's cool.
family, right?
Okay.
But his family, like in the early missions, they were trying to find him, and he kind of got lost or something. So anyways, you do find him, and you see them. He's already got like his face scratched
Okay. Oh, okay.
from wolves, what it looks like.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, already. So like, but
You know, when I was a kid, I always thought like, wouldn't it be so cool if I had a scar across my eye? You know, like Sub-Zero or like Scorpion or something. So I was
Right.
like, if I took a knife
yeah.
and just like bladed myself, but
Okay.
then that might not be cool in the future.
No.
Anyway, remember when people used to shave like a piece of their eyebrow because they wanted to make it look
Oh,
like,
yeah,
like
yeah,
they had
yeah,
like a
yeah.
scar there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why don't you
that's funny.
just cut yourself, make a real scar? Just saying. All right, continue.
So anyway, so that was like early missions. You're still in the cold area.
Uh-huh.
All snowy and stuff, which is kind of cool. Like all you see the deformation of the snow as you walk on it, or you like crouch
Okay,
in
that's
the
cool.
areas. So it was pretty interesting, like tech, I guess. And then
Wait. Is there a P function, like we spoke about in the last podcast?
at least I haven't seen that yet.
Oh,
No,
okay. So there's no like bladder. Thing. All right, too bad. Next
No.
game.
no, I guess not. It's still just the eating and like keeping your.
Can you make them fat?
I think you can,
Ooh,
but
cool.
he'll be like slower and stuff. Yeah, it'll affect you.
Can you make him emaciated?
What does that mean?
Like you just don't feed him, and then he'll be skin and bones.
I guess so.
Really?
I don't know.
So you have to eat.
Yeah, you have to eat.
So you have to excrete.
That's right.
They didn't build that in the game.
They didn't do that in the game.
Next game. All
Yeah,
right.
that'd be the next game.
So you're saying?
So like at the beginning, like a couple hours, it's more like still learning the game.
Mm-hmm.
They're showing you how to hunt, showing you like when you get the horse, like how to, train it to make it higher level, like to get comfortable with you, like these sort of things. Like just like the beginning 2 hours,
Right.
and then you start doing like more missions. You go into the town, like even going into the town is still you're learning like, oh, you gotta what's in the town, like. There's like a mail post there where you can, pay off your bounties or whatever else, right?
Uh-huh.
So it like whole beginning is still learning the game. It's a huge game.
Really?
There's so much to learn to figure. Like
Is every blade of grass coated so that it sways in the wind individually?
I don't think they can do this in this kind of world.
Oh, too bad.
Right. I think in the other game that samurai game will have that because
Sick.
I guess it's a smaller open world.
True.
They can focus on that more. Oh, I don't know this.
So basically,
Shouldn't go to that fort. It's in red.
do you know what the story is for, like this one?
Right now, you're still part of the gang, the camp. You're trying to keep the morale up and stuff like that. We don't know. Like, we're still finding out what happened at Blackwater, where we ran away from.
Okay. Oh,
So we don't.
Okay.
So, Arthur wasn't there, so he keeps asking other people what happened at Blackwater.
Wait, Blackwater is that your gang? No. It's
No.
just like
That's a
city.
place.
Okay.
Where they used to be, and then something
Where he used to
happened.
be.
Where the whole camp used to be.
Okay.
And then they left a lot of money there. Something happened at a boat, is what I hear. But then it's like he's trying to find out what happened. He wasn't there
Okay.
when that stuff happened.
Mhm.
Oh, he found out that we're running away, and like they go into like the mountain areas, where they're trying to get rid of the tracks and stuff. Like anyways, like run away
Right,
basically.
I got you. Yeah.
Like you can actually go to those mountains.
Oh wow. No
Yeah,
way.
yeah. So, and like even like what you wear, like clothing kind of affects. So as you were leaving the mountain areas, and coming into this warmer area, it's like you're getting too hot because you had a winter coat
Wait,
on.
does he have like a hot meter? Like what is that?
Yeah, no, it'll tell you, and your health would kind of deplete.
No.
Yeah. So
Wow.
you gotta. So like if you go to if you go to the mountains now, I have to wear a winter coat. You'll get too cold. Like, it'll affect your health. Like, that kind of stuff. Anyway, so now, like, it's been a few months since and they've left that area. They've made a new camp closer to the city called Valentine. So, like, we're still like, he doesn't know what's happened yet. No one's really talking to him about it.
But why not? Is he not the leader?
He's not the leader.
Oh, who is he?
He's like the second guy.
He's the second in command?
Kind of, yeah.
So he should probably be filled in by the first in command.
Yeah, but I guess they're just busy trying to run away and, like, other things you have to do for the camp.
Okay. It's kind of weird.
So we don't know. Yeah, so maybe, I don't know yet why they haven't told him, but, like, yeah.
All right, that's cool.
It's kind of,
So
like, so we're
that's
just,
where we
this is
are
the
then.
earlying of this early starts of the story.
Nice. And
Like-
favorite part of the game?
Favorite part? I mean, the music is great in this game.
Oh, really? Oh,
I really love
I
the
wouldn't
music.
expect you to say music was your
Yeah,
favorite
it's
part
the
of game.
music. I think it's the music that's, oh, I should take it. Right.
Oh, like see the horse making poop.
Yeah, maybe we will.
Yeah, maybe.
So, like, you really get muddy too. Like, we got in a fight in like some small town,
Uh-huh.
and the roads are really muddy, right? Like, that's how it used to be back in the day when
Right.
they didn't have asphalt.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
And you really got super muddy. You're everywhere on your clothes, so you have to, like, go take a bath.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you were saying that you'd smell in the game and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. It's it's very interesting. I like the shooting too, the shooting mechanics.
What's so unique about the shooting mechanic?
No, it just feels really nice.
Okay.
Especially with the gun sounds. I don't know. It's hard to explain sometimes when these things you like. They just hit the right points.
So it's like the whole ambiance of the entire game is. Well,
Yeah, I think.
What I think is cool is that you can like hide the map, so it all looks like a.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing too. Right now we're playing with HUD off. So.
Yeah.
And you can transfer the HUD onto if you got an iPad or whatever.
HUD is heads up display, in case you're wondering. No need to Google that.
Right.
So,
And then you can put that whole HUD, the map, and everything onto your phone or
yeah.
whatever, tablet or whatever, and then you can play this game as cinematic as possible.
Yeah, that's a cool aspect of the game. I like that. Your health bar is also on the HUD.
Yes.
On the extra. Okay.
On
so,
the other side, yeah.
Yeah,
Everything.
alright.
Your health, your horse health as well. You have to
Nice.
kind of look at that.
Wow. So this is a very immersive experience game. How is the first person mode?
I haven't really played around with the first person, but it does look it looks better than GTA though.
Yeah,
because,
for sure.
They designed it with this.
For those of you listening, he switched over to the first person mode. It's okay. I don't really like it.
Aim weapon. What did it say there?
Oh, you're gonna shoot him?
Oh,
All right.
Let's not
Anyways,
shoot
yeah. So first person mode it's okay. I'm not the biggest fan of it.
yeah. I think third person is. Oh, he actually got mad at me.
All right. Well, and
See, look
Again,
at
if you're
his fall was.
listening-
Oh, he's not really dead.
again, if you're listening,
I shoot
Bish
his-
is getting into a fight accidentally in the game.
I don't.
Yeah. See, that's why I don't like first. I'm not a big fan of games that are like meant
Oh,
to be
he killed
third
me.
person.
Yeah.
And then they're played in first person mode. Like that's.
Well, I think it's a better
Like,
first
it's-
person than the GTA.
yeah,
though.
for sure. But it's like it wasn't meant to be played in. Like it's more like gimmicky, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool, I guess, if you're like in a tavern or something, and you want to like experience it first person. But like, I don't know. I feel like first person will be saved for VR in the future. I think that'd be really cool. I like that he's got a satchel on. That's kind of cool because I got like a fanny pack. That's basically the same thing.
Right.
We're
Yeah,
both
yeah,
men. Hardcore. And he's
So-
got that knife, that hunter's knife. That's pretty
Mhm.
cool too.
So, like, yeah, whatever weapon you have on you will be on your body.
Mm.
So you can, like, basically, where's that horse one? So you can take weapons from your horse saddle. That's where it's all kept. So, like, you took out the rifle, or whatever this is. And then if you're not gonna use it, so let's put it away.
That's cool.
Yeah,
So basically, if
it's gonna
you,
be always on you.
so
Whatever
what,
you have. But
so another cool
limited.
aesthetic feature is whatever weapons you have on you, you get to
Ye-
see it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think if you're listening to this on iTunes, you really gotta check this out on YouTube because Vish is getting super into the game right now.
Yeah, it's a visual thing too. So
Yeah, like it's kind of hard for you to explain what's so great about the game, but it's definitely a good one. So definite must buy.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
of course.
So we're gonna go with must buy on this one. How much was the cost?
Well, I bought like the ultimate version or something it's called, but you can just buy the regular game, which is $80, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And how much was the special
Oh,
edition without the CD?
Oh, I think it was about 120. I think
120.
that's what I spent.
Oh, you spent 120?
Yeah.
Dang. On what? Oh yeah, on the updated features. Yeah, you were saying. before.
Another, it's like for the online stuff too.
Right,
but
right,
it's not
right,
out yet.
right. But the there's also a version without the game. It's just the toy, or not toy? Is it toy?
No, it's not. It's not even a toy. I don't even know what that is actually.
So don't-
I don't know what it is. Yeah.
So don't buy that one.
No, don't buy
unless you're super rich. But yeah. All right. Cool.
The thing is, if you want to see the best experience of the game,
Mm-hmm.
even though the whole marketing's on PS4, it's not the best place. Like, it's still really good. If you have a 4K TV and you got an Xbox One X, that's the best place.
Xbox One X.
Yeah.
And wow,
It's
okay.
at native 4K on that game. This game is on native 4K on that system.
Okay, that's cool.
So it's really good.
So
What I hear.
So go buy an Xbox One X, and
Well, if you got friends on the X, yeah.
that's pretty cool. So how much better can it get?
It's native 4K. It's like
I know, but like what are we missing?
I would
in
say
graphics-wise
watch
to be
this
fair?
guy called Digital Foundry, and he explains it.
On YouTube?
On YouTube.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so spend lots of money on this game because this is where you're gonna live for the rest of your life. There's no point.
Whatever it's called. I think this is a 60-hour game, but like there's probably more things to do.
Yeah, but then when you get it online, it's gonna be like 10,
Then I'm
10 years of
exploring
your
like
life.
I'm just walking around like this, which is another like spent more like an hour going around and then you
So
haven't done
basically,
anything.
this is how you're gonna spend your free time, people. If you
Yeah.
if you buy the game,
Mm-hmm.
there's no point in. So spend the money because you're going to enjoy the experience.
Yeah.
I'm sarcastic on that one. I'm just kidding. But yeah. All right. Anyways, so next topic is the domino effect of time. So I've been reading this book called The Silk Roads. So
Mhm.
you heard of Silk Road, right?
Yes.
It's like, basically, people who don't know, it's like what connected East and West. Well, it's not even East and West because East at that time wasn't, West at that time, like North America as we know it, was not in existence. It was more like Rome to Asia. Like Europe to Asia. That's what connected it. And
they call Europe
like the West of
The
its
West.
time. Yeah, of its
Yeah.
time, yeah. Because it is the god. All right, so I'll get into that. So the Silk Roads, funny
Mhm.
enough, the reason why they're called the Silk Roads is because silk was the most prominent good to be sold.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of funny because I thought it meant like lavish roads or something,
Mhm.
like, but it is a literal term, like Silk Roads.
Right.
So what really got me, and I was reading it about it yesterday. I haven't finished the book yet, but it also ties into Red Dead.
Oh, okay.
How like things are dominoed and we don't really know where it is we're going
Mm-hmm.
until we're kind of there and we look back at the pieces.
Yeah.
You know, like little things make big differences.
Mm-hmm.
So a good example is they said that Baghdad, you remember the song Bombs Over Baghdad?
Yeah.
And then we'd watch but it's Outkast song. And then we'd watch like footage of them sending, like shooting bombs and like it was being destroyed and stuff.
Yeah.
So apparently Baghdad at the time was like the greatest city of peace and prosperity on
Mhm.
earth. And it was like the rich live there and like et cetera, but like how the mighty have fallen, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
That's crazy to think about. And it's like, and what really did it in was like the belief system of like religion.
Yep.
So Constantine converting to Catholicism, Christianity,
Mhm.
it like of the one small act can domino affect an entire thing. Like even look at 9/11, right?
Yeah.
The act, it wasn't a small act, but the one instance of 9/11 is what triggered
Mhm.
like statewide observation. You know, they cracked down
Yep.
pretty heavy.
Mhm.
But even if you go back further than that, it's like, well, when U.S. was funding Osama, that could have been the catalyst.
I mean, there were Baghdad is in where again? In Iraq.
Yeah, Afghanistan was apparently like right now. You look at Afghanistan, you're like, oh, it's like broken down, whatever. But it's like it's actually super. It was super industrialized for its time,
Mm-hmm.
and like it was like center of goodness, trade, and like all that.
Yeah.
Like it was the best city.
Yeah.
And now it's like done. You know, the Persians too were like the greatest empire, which is really interesting because you told me this before too. Because I was like, oh, like Rome was like we are Romans. You know, if you look at Western society now, we have like all the things that the Romans had, like neighborhoods, coliseums. UFC is basically gladiator fights. You know.
Yeah.
But you were like, no, if you actually look back into it, Persians were the ones who influenced society.
Yeah.
Right? And they talk about it in the book, like Persia was, what it came down to is like Persia versus Rome.
Yeah.
And like also Greece too, but like, yeah, it's like no different than, let's say, Russia, USA, and I wouldn't say Canada's on there, China. Russia, USA, and China all fighting right now. It would be like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because it's like you don't really take into account all of the actions that lead you down a road. Like it's sort of like, all right, so like a hot button issue right now is like climate change, right?
Yeah.
And you can't. People are like, we gotta change climate change. We gotta do like all this and all this, but it's like you don't realize that it's like it's been grandfathered in. Everything you do has been made to come to this point.
Yeah.
You know, if you really want to stop it, you got to stop everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I feel like that's impossible because you're undoing thousands of years of history that got us to this point. You can change it, of course, like people like Elon Musk, but then that's another tipping point, right? You just got to keep tipping it in
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You have to change it. Like we gotta we gotta make something great that people want to buy it. You know, like
For sure. But
That's
like, you remember that game, like the paddles? Like there's like remember that old game on the what do you call it? Where you like pinball?
okay.
Remember pinball machines?
Yeah.
And then like maybe just ride around the forest, bro. You're like, it's like distracting me. The pinball machine, remember? And then like you'd hit like the paddles, and then it would like bounce around, and then like hit a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So like, it's almost like that's sort of like how history is. You know, it would like hit one thing, and then like it would spiral out.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Just mess with my mind. Right now. Yeah. And like the reason why I said it tied into Red Dead is because the Red Dead thing, like where we are is like the industrial revolution.
Just before
the industrial revolution.
Yeah.
And then like you're gonna end up seeing the product. Like you look at it right now and you see like small towns, and then you don't realize that this is gonna become giant cities. In
Exactly.
The future.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
What you do matters.
But yeah, this time was pretty bad for the roads, especially when you're in small towns. It's like this.
Yeah, for sure.
Pure mud.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Like after reading that book and then even like looking at this stuff, I was like walking around downtown. I was like, wow, who knew?
Yeah.
That it was gonna become like this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, history's nuts. That's why I was like saying there's no plan, but there is patterns.
Right.
Right? Like the universe exploded from the Big Bang.
Of course, there will be.
It didn't plan anything.
No.
It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to create humans.
No,
It was just a
no.
patterned effect that's
Yeah.
going outwards.
Yep.
You know, it's almost like fractals, or like the
Mhm.
ripples in a pond. You know,
Right.
and that's like life. Yeah. Anyways, so your next topic.
The Pokemon Go killer.
Oh snap! I was just talking about how awesome Pokemon Go is.
It's just being sarcastic, though. It's
What?
not really going to kill.
Oh, it's not.
Pokemon.
Oh, you had me.
No,
I was like,
it's
oh no, such a good game. You know, my cousin, well, my aunt, she was playing.
Sorry.
She just got into Pokemon.
Oh,
and,
okay.
And she was saying how like, she didn't walk before, but like now she's walking to get these eggs.
Oh, that's great.
You know, and like
Yeah.
It forced people to go
Oh,
outside.
I
It's a
heard.
real thing.
I heard that they're working on where it'll work in the background, like like how the iPhone already takes your
Counts.
steps.
Yeah, that's way better because like
Yeah, I
it's a
would want
battery-
that because
it's a
I don't
battery
always.
killer.
Yeah. So they're doing that. They're working on that
That's
one.
cool. That's cool.
That's what I just heard. Anyway, so the one that's gonna be an iPhone or Pokemon killer. It's called Follow JC Go.
What? What?
It's
Wait, repeat the title. Follow what?
Follow JC Go. Like yeah.
Okay,
No, it's just
it's random.
they're trying to. I'll tell you what it means. It's JC means Jesus Christ.
Oh, wow, double random. Okay.
So, someone is working on. I think it's already out actually, in some of these countries. It's just to get the Generation Z into this understanding more of Catholicism, and you're looking around, and you walk, and you're trying to catch saints.
So, okay, all right. So quick pause. So like going back to the whole like Silk Roads thing, they talk about this. The Jews and the Muslims, they were all they kind of banded together. You know, like so like I read the Quran. It was saying how like, oh, this is not the correct like way, because like you're believing too much in like Jesus, and you're believing too much in what's his name, Moses, but it's really about the like God, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and during the time where Muhammad was like in Mecca, right? There were a
Yeah.
lot of Christian churches popping up, and of course he's gonna be like anti-Christian because you're like
You wanna propagate your
encroaching
thing,
on
right?
his you're encroaching
Yeah.
on his territory.
Yeah.
So it's like when I see stuff like this now, it's like, but you don't realize that like if I like there's no way to fact check things back in the day, right? So like if I was like, oh, I am a descendant of Christ, of course, if I get enough people to believe an idea, which is like marketing, right? It's like if I can get enough people to believe it, it becomes true.
Right.
I read this book called All Marketers Are Liars, and the funny part about the book is that you're all marketers and you're not lying. Like the profession of marketing isn't about lying; it's about making you lie to yourself.
Right.
So it's like you're gonna like cognitive dissonance, right? It's like, well, if 500 people say that he's the returning of Christ, he must be, and then more people believe, and the more people believe it, and you get like a snowball effect.
Yeah.
So like when I see like the JC Go thing, it's like it's just trying to be relevant.
No, they are.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that's
It's
what it
like-
is. Yeah, they're just trying to get the new generation into religion because they know it's declining. Usually.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. And what I find kind of funny too is like they're saying like Buddhism is more logical, right? Because it's like it's all about your mind.
Yeah.
And like, oh, the only person that dies is your mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like the reason why these afterlife religions, as you put it,
Yeah.
are so popular is because people don't like the idea of death. But once you supersede the concept of death, and you're like, oh, people die. My energy's still gonna be here, though. It's like it's not like, you know what I mean? Like my mind's not gonna be here, sure, but like.
No, I know. Yeah, it's
you know.
been the people that you left behind. It's with them.
Right. But then exactly. But because people are so afraid of that concept, then things like, oh, you'll go to heaven are like super popular. Because it's like then it gives you an out to the biggest fear in life, which is you're gonna die.
Yeah.
There's nothing more scary than you're gonna die.
Yeah, I think it does the opposite.
Which one?
Like when you add the heaven in there, it's like, oh.
For us, but I mean, think about back then when there was no internet.
No.
there's
No.
knowledge.
Yeah.
People
For
are
us,
freaking out.
That's
right?
true. Yep.
Oh, and one thing it said too in the book as well. Sorry, side note, but all the religions actually took from one another, and I know that's one thing you were saying, but it was evident in the Silk Roads because he was saying like if you look at Hinduism, Christianity, Judaism, and the Chinese religion, they all have halos representing the same thing. And it's like, yeah, because on the Silk Road they were sharing their knowledge of what the religion was.
Yes.
And they would just be like, oh, I like that part of yours, I like that part of yours. Yeah, but again, we don't think about it. It's like because it's happening in that moment. It's not until like thousands of years later can you look back and see the trends. And you're like, oh, that's really what happened. It had nothing to do with like, You know what I mean? Like me
Yeah, yeah,
talking
yeah.
to you, like let's say you and I are different religions, and then I'm like, oh, this is in my religion. You're like, that's cool. And then you start telling it to your people.
Yeah.
Then like, oh, it's our little dog coughing. But
Oh.
but then that's what spirals out, and people start thinking of, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
the little things. That's what I
Yeah,
mean. It's like
yeah,
little things.
yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying Pokemon Go?
Yeah, so and so instead of like they don't have any gyms and stuff because of course what are they battle saints against saints? Just
Devils? You're gonna fight the devil?
no, actually didn't add that in.
Oh.
I don't think they're gonna do that. It's
That's
just
cool.
it's just like the it's replaced combat elements are replaced by just philosophical questions
Oh, that's kind of cool.
that the players will have to answer when they come across saints and other biblical names.
Yeah, it's not gonna do too well. You're tapping into a very small market.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
Yeah, it came out I think in like Italy and like that area. It's not here yet.
see, that makes sense because in Italy, it's like they're still predominantly.
Yeah, so it's playable in. I guess you can still get it now, but it's. But currently only playable in Spanish, Italian, or Portuguese.
Oh.
English version are reportedly on the way, so they're working on
How's it doing?
it. I don't know. It just came out. I guess it's
Oh,
just
okay.
like
That's
here's
pretty
an interesting Pokemon Go killer.
That- that's pretty interesting. I don't think it's gonna do. So maybe in those countries because they're still see like it's nationalistic pride, right?
Yeah.
So over there, it's like it's still cool to be those religions, right? But like here in North America, which also
Actually, even in Europe, I mean, it's declining in Europe a lot.
for sure, but still,
Very
you could
fast.
still claim nationalistic pride, but like we're the first country, like not really us, but America was the first country that was founded off of not secularism,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like there is no like there's a division between church and state, and I think they knew that.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like I think the founding fathers were like,
Well, yeah, yeah. They
they're like,
knew that.
we don't
That's
want to
why.
be like Britain. Maybe that's in the book. I don't know, but we don't want to be like Britain. We don't want to be like, China. We don't want to be like all these religious countries. Let's be the first non-governed by God country.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's very.
I mean, they
innovative.
wrote that in their
Yeah.
constitution or whatever. It's like, but it is like freedom of religion too.
For
so
sure.
you
Yeah,
can
exactly.
Be whatever
yeah,
you want.
but there's nothing
But
governing.
nothing
like,
to nothing
like nationalistic.
Yeah, yeah. Really, church and state
Yeah.
are separate.
I think that's pretty cool. Like humans are a weird thing, and the more I read about like history books and stuff, I don't read like the academic history books because they're so boring. But I read like the summary type of like the Silk Roads where they present it as a story.
Yeah, yeah.
You're reading about it and it happened. They're just collecting the facts in a way that's more entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they're thick though. They're like so long because obviously they're covering a lot.
Yeah.
But I feel like the more you learn about your past, the
Mhm.
more you realize that humans are a crazy species, and it's like we don't know what's going on. at
Yeah, I
all.
mean, stuff we've done in
I heard that. I heard
20,000 years.
exactly. Yeah, I heard this once. So we went like mushroom farming yesterday, and like not magic mushroom farming, which would have been kind of cool, but mushroom like actual mushroom farming, and I think his name is Paul Stamets.
Yeah.
He's like a mushroom guy, and he said that we are basically the byproduct of mushrooms, like human beings.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like it kind of makes sense because it's like if you look at us like bacteria,
Right. Right. Right.
But if you look at bacteria like that, then you're gonna be like, wow, we're just a part of this whole network chain of like
Mhm.
stuff that's chaotic, doesn't know what's going on, et cetera, et cetera. We're just trying to survive. Like things like climate change is like, yeah, we're just trying to keep ourselves alive through that,
Right. Yeah.
But like the cockroach doesn't care because the cockroach apparently, I was reading this in a book, apparently the cockroach can live for like a week without its head and it only dies because no water.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
It-
I thought they
it
could
can-
even like
it can
survive
sur-
like a nuclear blast or something.
Yeah, and it can survive eating only glue.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's the best designed.
And they adapt super well. Like, yeah, they can survive like nuclear blasts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, I mean, probably not the actual like explosion, but like the radiation from it.
Right.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's weird to think about. But yeah, so we're looking at life through a very narrow lens, our own lens, and only when you like expand beyond that lens, You know when they say like, oh, you got to become super conscious? I think that's really what it means. Where
Right.
it's like you have to look beyond your own perspective,
Mhm.
and then you see life for how it really is.
Yeah.
Because if you're looking at life through your own perspective, it's subjective. But if you look at it through other people's perspective, it becomes more objective. Although it's still subjective because you're still looking at it through your perspective, through their perspective. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, it's better than being narrow-minded, narrow-focused. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna download this JC Go, and start cracking away on some religious. No, I'm not gonna do that. Would you play it? Is it free?
I would assume it should be free. I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah. What?
I'm just assuming it's free. I don't know.
I thought you said let's go to the washroom because you're looking at the game. I was like, huh?
I did say that?
I heard it wrong, I guess. All right, anyways.
I think I just mumbled up my words.
Yeah, because we're still thinking about the bladder control video game option. You guys gotta put that in a video game. You gotta put defecation as a must in the next game. Just like this heat and cold thing.
Right.
Yeah.
It'll
You gotta make
probably-
it more human.
It'll happen. It's like incremental.
Yeah,
changes.
exactly. Yeah, for sure. Then it'll be like, look back on this podcast, they called it. You know, there have been a couple moments in my life where I'm like, I'm sure many people have done this too, but it's like, actually, this ties into my next topic.
Okay.
So, there's been moments in my life where it's like, I'll say something that's kind of like out of the box. Like, I'll like, so example, when I was in university, they were like, oh, you have to come up with a product that you have to market. And I was like, okay, let's create the easiest thing. What do people, like, you just look at the need. This is my approach. You look at the need, and then you satisfy the need to the people. That's marketing, right?
Mhm.
You tell them how they need it. No, it's not just marketing, but that was the easiest way to complete the assignment. So like, I was like, let's create the product of Wi-Fi on buses.
I think they had that.
No, but it was like 10 years ago. Not 10, it was like 7 years ago when I was in school, and it wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
They didn't have Wi-Fi. So like when I said it, they were all like, no, that's impossible. It couldn't work. I was like, no, but you just look at the satellites. And I was trying to explain it to them, but they were like, no, it wouldn't work. So we went with something like super dumb, like a health food chain or something dumb, right? And I was like, this is so boring.
Wait,
like
why
it's such
would
a
you-
boring
yeah,
project.
Yeah.
You know
Why
what I mean?
would
Like,
you- no, of course, anything can be done.
I know, but they weren't like techies, right? Like
Yeah.
I hung out with a lot of techie people, so I was like, oh, I'm sure this could be done, blah blah. And I explained to them, so that became a reality,
Yeah.
right? And then one of my other propositions, aside from the internet Wi-Fi thing, is auto translate. Like in that book, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, they had a slug that you put in your ear,
Yeah.
and then like it would translate whatever it is that people are talking. Like any language would be reverted to English, right? So I was like, okay, well, can you just do an earpiece and then those auto type things? So I was like, why don't we market that? Like, let's create a translator earpiece. And they're like, no, that's impossible. The tech wouldn't work. I'm like, all you have to do is just get like an auto recite.
It's already
program.
there now, right?
It's already there, but back then I was like,
Yeah,
logically,
yeah.
you get an auto recite, you get a translator program, and then you just recite back. You know what I mean? It's like it's a basic.
Yeah, and
Seems
that's a
pretty
funny.
obvious.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, that's impossible. It would never work. Well, I'm like, all right, guys, let's go with your stupid little like health chain thing. And then it became like this really long, arduous project because we had to research a bunch of other companies. Anyways, it's my little gripe. It would have been easier because there's no research on the market. You just make it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, let's just make up the project. It'll be so much easier than researching and then writing it.
Right.
Just make it up from your head and write it.
Yeah.
But anyways, people need to learn how to hack the system. Yeah.
I mean, even said like, oh, let's make electric cars. No, that's not possible.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Like, come on, guys. Anything's possible. You gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that's kind of like a long segue into my final topic, which is like what makes greatness. Okay.
Okay.
And I was pondering this yesterday on my drive up to the mushroom farm, and also I heard it first on the Joe Rogan podcast. Kelly Slater, he's like the world's like most famous best surfer, right? And then Joe Rogan's like, well, how come you became like this amazing surfer, right? And he's like, I just did the things that like nobody else really did. Like all my friends, they were amazing surfers too, but then they all wanted houses, they all wanted kids, and like they wanted to settle down. So they all did that while I didn't do that, and here we are.
Yeah.
And I realized like what greatness really is just like diverging from the norm. Like when you do things that other people do, then you become like everyone else. But then when you do things that are not like everyone else, then you become like, oh, this dog is very upset. You become different.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like you. So like, and I started to see this thing when me and my friend were doing like full-time martial arts, and like everyone was like, "Oh, you're like living the dream. You guys are like these amazing martial artists, not like doing whatever, you know." I'm a phase person, so I go like hardcore into things.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? And then like, but then they didn't really know what it was like. They didn't know the drawbacks, like the lack of money, the like how am I gonna train, like the hard work that went into it, you know, the 15-hour days. You know, they didn't see that, but all they saw through their perception was somebody that wasn't like everyone else, and then in their minds we became great.
In their minds, yes.
In their that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So what is greatness? It's really just a story you tell yourself.
Yes.
Like there is no such thing as greatness.
True. Yeah, that's a very good point.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just things that people don't associate with the norm.
Yes.
And then they think they're great.
Yes.
Like Elon Musk was like, oh, I heard this is a really, all right. Speaking of Elon Musk, you know the
So you're bringing
simulation?
up the Elon Musk today.
Yeah, because I love Elon. He's the man. So you know simulation theory?
Yes.
Like how he believes in simulation theory?
Yeah.
What they're saying on this, hold on, this dog is upset. I'm just gonna give her a little love. Give a little love. All right. So, what they were saying for the Elon Musk thing and his simulation theory, of course he would believe in simulations. He's a super genius that created amazing things in this world, and like so, of course the world will look like a video game to him. He's like, yeah, I should create some electric cars. I think I can do it. And then he does it, and he's like, wow, look at this, it's happening.
Okay.
So, if you were in a world where everything you thought of became a reality and you became the super billionaire that could own anything, would you not think that you're in a rigged system where it's like, this doesn't seem real? You know what I mean? Like, of course, that'll be the impetus for his thought. Oh, she's
I
whining.
guess.
No, like think about it. If you were living this life and everything you ever wanted became real.
But I don't know if he thought like that though.
No. It's like a subconscious. They were saying that on the podcast. I was like, that's an interesting. I don't know if it's real or not.
That's what
like,
I'm saying.
Of course, his simulation theory.
Because he could be just thinking a lot about it, and it just makes more sense.
No, of course. His simulation theory, the way he presents it, is obviously correct. But what is the impetus for even? What is? Hold on. She got trapped in my headphones. Simulations. All right. So what is the impetus for even thinking that there could be a simulation? It's him being like, this is a little ridiculous. Like what are we doing in this world?
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Just a thought.
Mm-hmm.
The impetus for me was when I saw The Matrix. And then I was like, oh, that could be a reality. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that you think of it in a logical way. It's like, all right, here, hold on. You're a little crying. Here, I'll bring you down. All right. You run. Okay. So, the whole, like, it's sort of like the history thing, right? Like, one thing breeds out into another thing. So it's like there's some starting point that made you, like, what do you call this? Confirmation bias. So when you have an idea in your head, you look for sources to affirm that idea.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I saw The Matrix and I was like, okay, like we probably are in a simulation. And then I started seeing different things that would explain to me why we could be in a simulation. So for him, what they're saying is like, it could be his reality of like getting everything he wants that makes him believe it's a simulation, and then just like confirmation bias. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Did I lose you on that one?
No. I get it. But
Yeah.
you'd have to ask Elon.
Yeah, I don't know. This was a
Right.
digression. This is not actually about greatness, but I'm just saying
Oh,
that.
right,
Like,
yeah.
I heard it on a podcast. I was like, oh, it's pretty interesting to hear it like that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's also that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, and
We'll never know.
yeah. So diverge from the norm, and be whatever it is you want. Because at the end of the day, if you're like everyone else, you're just gonna be another piece of mycelium.
What?
Mushroom.
Okay.
Yeah.
You gotta explain that one.
Yeah. It's the mushroom that goes against the norm that everyone's like, hey, he's not a mushroom, bro. He must be special.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. Anyways. And then convince a bunch of people So, all right, let's deconstruct this. So when I said like people, because we were full-time martial artists, people were like, oh, like they're diverging against the norm. They're special. Jesus was probably like, hey man, I'm just gonna go like the 13 lost years of Jesus. Like, I'm gonna go study. They're like, wow, he's so special. Then like 10 people thought he's special. 20 people thought he's special. Then he started thinking he was special. He started saying, there's a pivotal point.
That's true.
There's a pivotal point in the book. If you Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. If you read Matthew, the most positive one, like because it goes progressively darker. When you go Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. By the time you get to John the Baptist, he's like, Jesus is crazy in that one. Like it's different. It's like 4 different renditions. We have a podcast where I talk all about the Bible because I read it. And I was like, anyways. So the first one, it was the most positive. So like in the beginning of that one, Sermon on the Mount, I'm like, oh, it's like everything he's saying is really nice, And then he hits this point where he's like, I am the way, I am the sword. You must follow me. I have come not to give like truth, but to bring the sword, to people, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, it got to your head. You know what I mean? Like 10 people believe you, that's cool. 20 people believe you. But when 300 people start believing you, you're going to get into this feedback loop of like, I am the best ever.
Right.
Yeah. Watch your emotions. All right, till next time. Yeah, all right, we should not play this game. You're like super into the game, but yeah.
It's too immersive.
That's why I was like, just ride around.
Yeah, but I wanted to show the town.
But most people listen to it on iTunes.
I know.
So
I want to show you the town.
Yeah, but I understand that. Yes, you're correct. Yes, you do want to show me the town, but we're doing 2 different things simultaneously.
I know.
So, yeah. It's a beautiful town, though. Yes. Ooh. good job, coders. Yeah. All right.
I mean, this is only the one town I've been to.
For sure. I'm just saying, like.
I don't know where.
Podcast.
That's right.
Yeah. So, anyways, till next time, buy the game and then add Vish on the game. Play with them.
Okay.
Because this is where he'll be. Till next time.
Yes.
Take it easy.
Peace.